Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the New Homes podcast. With a bit of a difference today, we're here in a field and we're going to be talking all about how we create a city from scratch. Joining me for this discussion are two colleagues who are going to be talking us through it. Kevin Parker. Hi Kevin.
Thanks Tom, good to be here.
And Grant Strong. Hi Grant.
Morning, Tom.
If I can start with you, Kevin, can you just tell me a bit about your role and what you do at Redrow?
Thanks Tom. Yeah, I'm Group Master Planning Director at Redrow. So together with my team, I'm responsible for working with all of our regional businesses across the country on master plans, layouts and design codes. At any one time, we have about 150 projects on site coming out of the ground around the country and at least another 150 coming through the system. So we're kept very busy. But we work with the teams to make sure that all of our master plans, all of our layouts are really the best they can possibly be for our customers and we can create a fantastic place to live.
Great, okay, thank you. And Grant, how about yourself?
So I'm the Special Projects Manager based in South Wales, focused solely on Plasdwr, where we are today. Role entails a number of different facets: engineering, marketing, all the way through to planning, and effectively delivering this fantastic scheme.
And can you tell me a bit more about it? You know, there's some amazing views I can see already. It'd be great to hear where we are and what this site is.
Absolutely. Well, we're standing here in one of the earlier phases of Plasdwr, which is set within 900 acres of greenfield land on the northwest of Cardiff. About 40% of the 900 acres will be retained woodland for biodiversity gain. The scheme itself benefits from planning approval for up to 7,000 new homes.
Wow.
30% of which will be affordable new homes, new infrastructure, 4 new primary schools, etc. So a really exciting project to be working on.
Wow, so yeah, clearly a massive development at scale with some of those numbers. Really puts it into context. Kevin, what's it like working with a site like that and that kind of scale?
Well, I mean, Plasdwr is in many ways unique. It's an incredible opportunity. It will eventually be home to 16,000 people. It'll be arranged in a series of walkable neighbourhoods, so 5 walkable neighbourhoods, about 3,500 people each, but genuinely landscape-led with a huge area of green space, 50-hectare woodland right at its heart, connected by green corridors permeating through the walkable neighbourhoods, but it's an opportunity to deliver a 21st century of the garden city model. So it's the benefits of living in the countryside combined with the benefits of living in an urban environment. So you have everything on your doorstep. You can walk to school, walk to shops, walk to open green space. And I think as more people are working from home, I think this kind of model for sustainable living is going to become more important going forward.
Fantastic, that's really exciting. And so Grant, can we take a step back a second? You know, how did the demand for the homes here in Cardiff, 7,000, come about? What's the process that leads us to this point where we're here today?
The Plasdwr as a whole is one sole landowner, Earl of Plymouth Estates, who we work collaboratively with to promote the site through the planning stages. So initially, Plasdwr was submitted as a candidate site sort of early 2011, moving through to gaining planning approval in 2017. And we've been on the sort of the delivery track ever since. It's been a collaborative approach between landowner, lead developer, Redrow and Cardiff Council to sort of develop a vision which is both a benefit to all parties, but also the communities that surround.
Great, okay. And that need for 7,000 new homes over this length of time is clearly a massive investment. What's that going to do for Cardiff and the local community, do you think?
Well, I think Cardiff, as presented in recently published guidance or policy in Future Wales, is effectively the mecca for Wales in terms of growth, housing, and economics, and is the central focus. And effectively, new homes are needed to be able to sustain the growth of the city as both a nationally important and internationally important city.
So we've talked, Kevin, about kind of the travel infrastructure, the real focus on here, also the number of schools being built. Where does the drive come from for establishing that, and how are we kind of making sure we're meeting the local requirements here?
Well, a lot of it, in fact, most of it comes from our customers. We spend a lot of time listening to our customers. We carry out market research and surveys. And this year, more than ever, we've gone out to our customers through surveys and YouGov polls to find out exactly what they want. And we find that most people want green space near where they live. They want access to local schools, to be able to walk to school and cycle to school, to be able to walk to the pub or to the shop. So what we try and do is embed all of those principles, all of those aspirations from our customers in how we deliver great places, so that when we come back in a few years' time, we see it and we can see our customers using these spaces and places. We know we've delivered what they want.
So this is certainly the biggest Redrow development I've seen, and the kind of scale we're talking about. I know we're at one edge of the site here, you've told me, but can you take a moment, Grant, to just, I'm very glad to see you brought your map, orientate me and show us sort of where we are at the moment.
So we are located in the Plasdwr neighbourhood, adjacent to the existing Rada community surrounding us. But if we look directly across, and we can see the scale of the development itself, if we look straight across, there's a water tower right in the far field there. It looks like a big golf ball in the distance.
Yes, I see it.
Well, that is the extremity of Plasdwr if we were to cut straight through.
Wow.
So some early development has already taken place just below that. But to give scale, the pylons that you see between us, there are 6 that bisect the entire development, all of which are about 200 metres span apart. So that just gives you a bit of a flavour of the scale of this development.
So Grant, you talked about we're in Plasdwr. Did I say that right? Probably not. Apologies in advance. Plasdwr. Okay. And that's a neighbourhood of the site, one of 5, I think you said. Kevin, is that kind of approach of thinking in terms of neighbourhoods typical of what we do here? And can you maybe say, the reasoning behind it a little bit?
Plasdwr is a fantastic example of delivering walkable neighbourhoods, which is what we try to do nowadays. And if you look at the master plan, we have a series of walkable neighbourhoods around a green infrastructure network, and it means that things like schools, shops, open space are within an easy walk of every single home, so you can meet most, if not all, of your day-to-day needs within your local area. So you don't need to drive, you can walk and cycle, and that has fantastic benefits for health and well-being, as well as benefits to the planet and the sense of community on the new place.
Well, thanks, guys. I feel like I've got a really good sense of the outskirts of the site, but I'm sort of itching to go and see a bit more. Can we go and take a look at more of the centre?
Of course.
Great, okay, thank you. Oh, well, that was quite the walk, guys, that we've just been on, so taking a well-deserved break for the moment. Grant, can you just explain where we are now, where we've just come from, if that's okay?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've just walked from the Plasdwr neighbourhood, and where we were showing you earlier the golf ball. We're actually across the other side now in the Pen Down neighbourhood, the other side south of the disused rail line that bisects the development.
And can you tell me, Grant, what this space will be in the completed plan?
Absolutely. So we're currently sitting within a residential area with this really dramatic backdrop of the heart of Plasdwr, which is this green open space that you can see that will be incorporated within designs to have more accessibility. So we're not turning our back on nature as it stands. We're actually encouraging people to utilise these existing spaces that would otherwise be unable to access.
It's great to see this space as being retained, and it's so fantastic to look at as well. Kevin, does that sound very familiar with Redrow's approach generally to these sorts of sites?
Very much so, and it's not 100% development. It's 40% of this site will be kept as open space, so it'll be homes set in landscape, and it is genuinely landscape-led. We have, as Grant said, we have 50 hectares of woodland that we're retaining in the heart of it, and we have these amazing green corridors, multifunctional green corridors that punch through the neighbourhood. So it is homes set in landscape, and we're doing a lot of work to retain biodiversity features and wildlife features. With the Wildlife Trust, we've developed a set of commitments for biodiversity net gain, which we achieve on every site now. And here is a good example. We're retaining all of these fantastic features for wildlife. We're also creating new habitats for wildlife. We've got 2 hectares of proposed allotments here. It's the equivalent of 4 football pitches in 4 different locations, which are fantastic for biodiversity, but also great for the local community. You can grow your own food, get some exercise, and all of that will be within a 5-minute walk of the homes and the neighbourhoods surrounding them.
Great, okay. And Grant, how has nature been specifically integrated into Plasdwr?
We're introducing and enhancing fenland areas, which is just over our shoulder here, and introducing a great crested newt community here, relocating them to this area, which will have a multifunctional use, both for biodiversity amenity, but also for drainage, which is part of the new SAB legislation here in Wales.
So turning back to this idea of placemaking, can you, we've talked about some of the neighbourhoods with their fantastic names that I can't quite pronounce. Can you run me through those a little bit more, Grant?
So there's 5 neighbourhoods, and we've been to 2. So we've been to the Maeslech area where we were originally, and that's taken its name from a farm holding directly opposite. We're now in Pendown. Again, each of the neighbourhoods has taken reference from either a farm holding, a building, or a landmark within the Plasdwr development.
What about Plasdwr itself? What does that mean?
So Plasdwr translates as waterhole, and within the centre of Plasdwr was Waterhall Plantation. So that's where the name comes from.
So, guys, as we've been talking, I've noticed you've both referenced a number of sort of third parties we've been working with, and I really get the sense that it's been a collaborative effort to develop and deliver this plan. Kevin, is that your experience of it?
Very much so. And the role of a master planner really is about collaboration, so bringing lots of different parties together, whether it's the local community, the planning authority, lots of technical experts, and our designers in this case, Pegasus Design, who led on the master planning, the urban design, the landscape design, did a fantastic job to be in the heart of that, bring all those views together, think about technical constraints and opportunities, and still deliver a vision that works fantastically from a sustainable placemaking point of view. But there are a whole host of other parties that are involved in delivering this project.
Returning to the council and some of the needs from Cardiff's point of view for this site, you mentioned earlier about up to 30% of the homes being affordable. I just wanted to come back to that and try and, affordable is quite a loaded term, isn't it? From a planning point of view, and for listeners and viewers at home, what does affordable mean in this context?
From a planning perspective, it's very much about delivering homes that are more accessible for people who would otherwise not be in a position to buy an open market home direct from us. So there's a percentage of new homes which will be transferred over to registered social landlords and operated through those. So there's partnership schemes through this development, and then there's also low cost home ownership, which is a reduction in open market ownership. They get verified by the local authority. We then give them the same Redrow customer experience as we would do with any other of our open market units.
Okay. And Kevin, I noticed it's not just Redrow that's on this site. There are some other builders as well. Is that the case here?
Redrow are the lead developer, so we are responsible for the master planning and setting the vision, but there'll be a whole host of other developers, other house builders will be helping to deliver those 7,000 homes over the next 20 years or so. We'll be a very important part of that, but the beauty of that on such a large site is to have a mix of different house types, different sizes of house, and different character areas as well that other developers will help deliver.
Great. It really gives you a picture of just this community that's going to grow with homes for people of all different tastes, preferences, affordability, and yeah, you can really see how it's going to take shape. So fantastic. That's been great to see. Thank you. Well, it's competition time now. This is that usual time in the podcast where we look at what great competitions we have on the go for you. And this month it's still the Recreate Redrow competition, which is a fantastic opportunity to bring out your inner designer based on any digital platform that you might like to design and recreate a Redrow home, whether that is The Sims or Minecraft or Roblox, Animal Crossing, whatever it may be. We've got lots of entries coming in, which has been really exciting to see. And guys, I've actually brought some along for you to take a look at and see what you think. Kevin, I know you're one of the guest judges.
I am, yeah, looking forward to judging them.
Yeah, what sort of thing are you going to be looking for when you're...
From my point of view, my passion and my interest is in placemaking, so I'll be thinking about curb appeal, how the house relates to the street and local open spaces, whether there are any trees, and also practicality. Is there space to park the car? Is there somewhere to put your bike? That kind of thing.
Great, okay, well, we've had some really good entries coming in. I've brought a couple along just to show you guys and see what you think. So, Grant, why don't you and Kevin take a look and see what you think?
I have to admit, Tom, I'm not a gamer myself, nor do I use Minecraft or The Sims, but I can really see the attention to detail that has been invested in this open plan living space, and very, very intricate detail.
Yeah, fantastic attention to detail. And this particular one I like because they've thought about the practicalities of somewhere to park the car, somewhere you can charge your electric car. And they've also shown a bike there, so showing that the convenience of being able to use your bike and get around by bike if you want to. This one, again, shows how the homes relate to the local cycle network. There's somewhere to walk and cycle immediately next to the house. And I think some of these ones, especially this one, how it relates to open space, fantastic landscaping, and again, that curb appeal, which is so important to us at Redrow, that sort of sense of pride you get when you arrive at your Redrow home and how it relates to the tree-lined streets really comes across in this one as well. So it's fantastic.
Great, thanks both. Great, well, there's still plenty of time to enter the competition. So it's closing on the 27th of August. So there are 3 categories: primary, secondary, and open. And for all the details on how to enter and some inspiration and top tips from influencers, head on to redrow.co.uk/recreate Redrow. So, guys, thank you so much for all of that. I feel like I've learnt a huge amount about the site. I was quite keen that we just ended up here, actually. So, we've been in fields, we've walked right through the site, we've looked at the plans, but actually, to see some of the finished homes going up, to see customers that have moved in and already starting to enjoy that feels a fitting kind of place to end this episode. Great. So, guys, I just wondered if you had any final thoughts that you wanted to share.
Well, for someone who's worked on the project now for 7 years, it's really exciting to see what we had in planning all the way through to breaking ground to where we are today with new residents actually living and using the vision that we planned out from those early stages.
Yeah, I agree. And to see our placemaking principles really come to life, even at this early stage. So it's not just people living in the homes, it's people using the cycleways, the footpaths, the open spaces. And over the next few years, we're going to see more of that and really see the vision come to life, as Grant says.
Great. Well, thank you very much for watching again another episode of the New Homes podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on any of the social channels as well. We'd love to hear your questions and thoughts. If you have liked content, there's lots more previous episodes, particularly around sustainability, new build and nature. Go and look at the episode we've got with the Wildlife Trust. I think you'll enjoy that one as well. Coming up next, we've got a look at barbecues and outdoor space and how people are using that as we catch the last of the summer. And then we'll have an episode as we go into September looking at the latest interior trends and how we incorporate those into our homes. Thanks very much and take care.